Harry was back on British soil with his tail firmly between his legs as he attended his father's historic coronation on Saturday in a whistle-stop 28-hour visit, in which he reportedly spoke to neither his father nor his brother.
Prince Harry has faced criticism previously. However, this time it wasn't from dubious media stories or unnamed royal aides. Angela Levin, a royal biographer, provided it. With harsh comments, unvarnished facts, and no royal filter, live on national television. Levin, who is well known for having extensive knowledge of the inner workings of the monarchy, did more than simply criticize Harry's most recent actions. She made it look bad. In front of millions, she posed the unpleasant question many have dodged for too long. Is Prince Harry sincerely seeking reconciliation, or is he setting the stage for yet another betrayal of the royal family?
Now, Harry's biographer, Angela Levin. So, Angela, was this a rock-bottom moment for Harry? Because I thought he looked so cocky and arrogant walking into that abbey. He was glaring at his brother.
Harry allegedly reacted angrily. But given that even royal specialists can now see through the PR charade, is he really surprised? Angela Levin began her critique by highlighting the timing of Prince Harry's purported appeal for reconciliation. He always appears to say that he wants to make up with his father or sibling right before a significant event occurs. A brand new book promotion, podcast, or Netflix show. Levin highlighted how the newest peace appeal coincided with the emergence of a new media enterprise in Sussex.
I thought it was a new low, but I thought it was a new low in confidence. I think he found it incredibly difficult to walk down that aisle.
So you think it was a facade because he looked arrogant outwardly?
I think he does. Well, when I was with him, he does that as a protection thing, that he pretends he's all cocky and knows it all.
It's not the right time, Levin said. That is manipulation of public relations. She claims that Harry has no desire in getting better. He is drawn to headlines. Furthermore, that fact is more profound in the eyes of the people than any violation of royal protocol. Levin then brought Harry's history of betrayals to the public's attention. Netflix, Oprah, and Spare. She posed the straightforward question of how someone could expect forgiveness while still making money off of his family's intimate moments. You don't write off your brother's outbursts if you truly want to make amends. You don't say that your stepmother fabricates things to get positive news. With a calm but disdainful tone, she said, you don't call the entire institution racist and then expect a warm welcome. Levin presented Harry's actions in the media as premeditated harshness masquerading as honesty rather than as bravery.
Very awful event for him because he was all alone. So not only was he not a spare, he wasn't anywhere. And I actually felt sorry for him because
walking into the abbey, right, he did not get a warm reception. You could see there were a couple of smiles, but the vast majority of folk...
People Angela didn't end there with the public denial. She investigated Harry's refusal to accept responsibility for his actions. She criticized the Duke's habit of apologizing broadly in interviews without ever reaching out to the individuals he has harmed directly. He claims on television shows that he feels horrible, yet he refuses to call Charles or William. She said that while he won't show respect behind the scenes, he expects forgiveness on camera. Levin clarified that this demonstrates Harry's lack of interest in restoration. His desire for pity is starting to resemble emotional coercion rather than sincere regret. Levin's harshest criticism was that Harry only seems to offer consolation when the royal family is in a bad spot.
Look at his father as he came down the aisle. He didn't look, he just kept his face in a different direction. He gave William a huge grimace because he's full of jealousy.
And he could barely even sing the words to the national anthem.
No, he just did one line, didn't he?
She mentioned how Harry mentioned patching things up soon after King Charles's cancer diagnosis made news and shortly after Kate Middleton's illness started to take center stage. Harry is antagonistic when the palace is stable. However, he wants to visit, connect, heal, and leaven when there is disease or vulnerability. It was obvious what she meant. Love is not the driving force behind Harry's times of reconciliation. They are motivated by chances. There is more calculating and less empathy. And that is just as terrible as treason in the realm of royalty. Then, describing Harry's public character as a brand of perpetual victimization, Angela dismantled it. She emphasized how Harry is portrayed as the injured underdog battling against the monarchy's brutality in every interview, appearance, and written word.
in which he reportedly spoke to neither his father nor his brother. So after destroying his relationship with the royal family through a string of bombshell accusations in his memoir, Spare, you may have expected the Duke of Delusion to be on his best behaviour, but
But what is his true desire? Levin inquired. He's not looking for a solution. He wishes to continue being the rebel who is misunderstood. Now it's who he is. She clarified that Harry would lose the emotional capital he had worked so hard to accumulate if he ever made a genuine reconciliation with his family.
The trained lip reader Jeremy Freeman says he's worked out some of the Montecito Mona's mushrooms ahead of the ceremony, with Harry seen to complain to Jack Brooksbank, quote, "I'm fed up with the way they treat me." Now, whether he's referring to the media or the...
He discusses forgiveness but never really commits to it, as it would ruin the Harry brand. Viewers were moved by the harsh yet incisive appraisal, which probably left Harry's staff frantically trying to come up with a response. Angela Levin didn't mince words.
...a relationship with us. The Daily Mail reported that he made a point of toasting, quote, those that weren't there, while emotionally wishing his 4-year-old grandson, Archie, a very happy birthday, quote, wherever he was. That was during a post-crime...
She spoke simply when she likened Harry's recent actions to the premise of a reality show. Every time the public begins to forget him, something new comes up. Whether it's an impassioned outburst over Meghan, a dramatic allegation about his early years, or another direct assault on William or Camilla.
Coronation drinks reception at Buckingham Palace that the dismissive Harry was invited to, but chose not to attend. So with me in the studio now, Harry's biographer, Angela Levin. So, Angela, was this a rock bottom moment?
Levin claims that the truth is no longer relevant. It has to do with spectacle and time. She maintained that in his own media soap opera, Harry had diminished himself to the level of an episodic character. Royal family conflicts are frequently brought up for new public attention. This isn't getting better.
Cocky and arrogant walking into that abbey. He was glaring at his brother from across the room. And then he doesn't even bother to stay to speak to his
say
dad.
congratulations. Yes.
New low.
It's a show. Sadly, it appears that he is exclusively dedicated to that performance as his identity. Angela emphasized that Harry is harming not just the royal family but also himself in the long run. She cautioned that although Harry may feel more powerful now due to publicity, endorsement deals, and public appearances, his reputation is being destroyed at an unstoppable rate.
Yes.
New low?
I thought it was a new low, but I thought it was a new low in confidence. I think he found it incredibly difficult to walk down that aisle.
So you think it was a facade because he looked arrogant outward?
He left a legacy. He was respected. She said that his dedication and sincerity were the foundations of his worldwide impact. He is currently being pitted, ridiculed, and ridiculed. Levin drew attention to his declining popularity ratings both domestically and abroad. The world no longer laughs with him. She went on to say that they are making fun of him. Additionally, the longer he holds on to his victim status.
I think he does, well, when I was with him, he does that as a protection thing, that he pretends he's all cocky, knows it all, but actually he's crying inside. I think it was a very awful...
The less he is taken seriously by others. Even Harry's previous fans are turning away, according to Angela Levin, in one of her most revealing comments. She saw that well-known reporters, celebrities, and even one supportive media outlet are now delaying their defense of him. She questioned, where's the public support now? Where are the voices rallying behind his so-called quest for truth? Levin clarified that loyalty quickly wanes when a person's behavior no longer reflects their message. Furthermore, it is now hard to overlook the discrepancy in Harry's situation. Even many who used to feel sorry for him for leaving the royal life now wonder if it was ever for the sake of healing or just financial gain. Levin became pensive in a moment that astounded the audience. Harry is no longer fighting the monarchy at this stage. It has to do with his own decisions. She explained how Harry keeps harming his reputation by injuring himself, disclosing too much in public by bringing up past traumas to get attention, and not acting like he has changed. She claimed that although he consistently expresses a desire to advance, his actions appear to be regressing. Levin claims that Harry's greatest flaw is his addiction to public sympathy, and there will never be a sincere reunion unless he overcomes it. An insightful synopsis that went viral on social media marked the end of Angela Levin's live broadcast. Seeking peace and gaining power are two different things. Due to self-control, the royal family has not spoken. Harry has been outspoken without a plan. She clarified that although the palace has maintained its dignity in the face of innumerable public criticisms, Harry keeps up the drama because it puts him in the public eye. He has no desire to repair what is flawed. He desires to steer the narrative. There is no reconciliation in that's competition. Her conclusion was succinct yet scary. Harry will remain outside the gates, watching in until he realizes the importance of silent power above noisy narrative. Angela Levin's debut was more than simply a publicity stunt. The mirror was open to the public, and it showed a prince who has lost his way in the chaos he has created for himself. We'll discuss why Levin's remarks were so powerful, how they're influencing public opinion, and what Harry needs to do if he genuinely wants to be saved in the following 3 minutes. Not all of Prince Harry's criticism came from Angela Levin. She sent a wake-up call to the entire planet. It's time for the general public, the press, and even Harry to take notice. This highly public grilling shouldn't be written off as simply another harsh viewpoint at this time. It ought to be interpreted as a last warning, a line in the sand. Here is a call to action, then. Let's not conflate virtue with victimization. Harry has been let to play both sides for far too long, begging for peace while making money off of discord. That has to stop. Reconciliation with his family should start in private, not on TV, if that is his true goal. No more pre-written apologies wrapped in Netflix lighting, no more rehearsed reunion discussions, and no more tell-alls. Additionally, the public should cease supporting the show. We perpetuate the identical actions that are eroding Prince Harry's remaining dignity each time we broadcast, share, or defend another contradiction. Refusing to condone suffering when it is presented as entertainment is the first step towards responsibility. The media should emphasize the facts more than the Sussex propaganda. As with all other public figures, hold Harry to the same standards. No more naive pity for a man who rewrites the rules to shield himself from criticism while using his background as power. The entire world is watching Prince Harry. If you truly want to heal, show it with honesty, action, and silence, not just another catchphrase. Forgiveness may be extended by the public, but not indefinitely. Your legacy might be restored or permanently buried depending on your next action. Make an informed decision.